Alright, so now after designing our interview or deciding which type of interview is more adequate to our study or our topic, now we are going to conduct the interview. So, in the conduction of the interview, we shall know how to start, how to act during the interview, and how to end the conversation or the interview of our participant. Of course, before starting our interview, there are a lot of things to be taken into account. As the first thing is that we should be, let's say, well dressed, and we should be, let's say, and we should go between formal and informal. We should know how to set the tone and the good atmosphere for our interview, and so forth. This is why that the first minutes before starting the conversation or before starting the interview are very important in setting the tone and the climate, the climate and the atmosphere of the conversation or the interview. And it's like I have read, just let me give you, I have read the expression, أيوة. Listen to this, that it is the first few times before the meeting are very important, as it is the period where we sell ourselves, in the sense that we're going to make ourselves accepted. That is, you sell yourself, you make yourself accepted. How is this going to happen? We have to show that we need this person by showing gratefulness that you are, or you bring this person here to this interview because you need them. You need them in order to provide you with answers, with responses, and that you need this person or the interviewee in order to provide you with some data that are going to serve your research. So we have to show our gratefulness by just thanking the person, and say that I am really grateful that you have accepted to be or to take part in my interview, and so forth. And that we are so much interested in what she or he is going to say. Of course, we are not going to play the knowledgeable. And I am the researcher, I am conducting a PhD, I am doing this, I am a master's student, so I am going to play the knowledgeable, or someone that knows everything. Or no, you need this person, so show that you need them, so show that you are interested in what they are going to bring to your research or to your data. So as a researcher, you should also sound nice and non-threatening. That we have to be humble with our participants. We have to be sympathetic, in the sense that to show that we're not here authoritative, or like I am very formal or very academic or very scientific, so that you make yourself sound not very welcomed, and you are going not to create the right atmosphere for your data. So by being nice and showing a non-threatening face, you are going to create a balance between formality and informality. Well, formality refers to the sense or sounding scientific, and sounding that you are working for something that is academic and scientific, and something that is related to a given research and area of study. Informality is like to show that you are casual in your in your way of interviewing people or conversing with them. That don't go too rigid, like I am a scientist, I am a researcher, I am doing this, I am doing that, but just go friendly and be, let's say sweet and not that much rigid. So that this is why it's called the period of breaking the ice. You are going to break the ice between you and your interviewee and your respondent. So it's we as human beings, we pay attention to the first impressions. That is the first impression that you take for or about this person. If the researcher is very humble, is nice and smiling and showing, let's say, interest in you or in his or her respondents, of course the respondents are going to be fine and to be nice and to show their interest for your research, and they are of course going to give you whatever data you want. But if you show that you are rigid and very formal and very strict, and they are going to fear you and therefore not to feel comfortable with you during the conversation. So the first the starting point of an interview is your strength, is your strong point. If you start in a good way, you are going to obtain your objectives. That is, by being formal and informal at the same time, by being friendly and let's say scientific at the same time, you are going to be objective and let's say stable or achieving what you want at the same time. Okay? So all those things have to be taken into account before starting the interview. In addition to this, I have forgotten a point that we have to pay attention to, or to remember, or to remind the interviewee or the respondent about the reasons and purposes of this interview. Of course, we are going to tell them this, or this is going to be a step to be done previously. But it is good to repeat the purpose of your research and the topic. Open the conversation with a small talk, or for example, I can say that I am doing research, or I am conducting research in my PhD, and this takes part of my PhD. Being a researcher and a worker at the same time is not that much easy, but we are trying to cope with the situation, and I am working on this. I have done this and that, and I need this interview as part of my work, or my thesis, or my dissertation, or my extended essay, or my project, or my paper, or whatever thing you are doing. So like this, you are going to introduce confidentiality, and the interviewee is going to feel comfortable, and you are going to succeed in establishing the atmosphere and the right atmosphere for your interview. Now, after things are fine, and sometimes when we are going to start a conversation with a foreigner or with a researcher, even if we know them, we're going to have some heartbeats at the very beginning. We do not know whether my language is going to be fine or not as a respondent, and whether I'm going to answer well or not, whether we pay attention to all those items, and we ask ourselves those questions. But after introducing the topic well as a researcher, and having this, let's say, flexibility, and introducing confidentiality, and especially informality, a mixture with formality, and objectivity and sincerity and your honesty as a researcher, and all those things, when you introduce yourself and your topic in the right manner, when you start your interview in the right manner, I'm sure that you are going to guarantee the success of your interview by, let's say, 99%. Why? Because you have set the right atmosphere. You are going to make your interviewee feel at ease and so comfortable in order to start the interview.